Airbnb hosting is foolish. Here's 5 reasons I would never get into Airbnb, and I have extensive knowledge and history in the real estate space. I would still never do it. The first reason is dealing with bad guests, right? You never know who's going to come into your property, whereas with a long-term rental, you know who's getting in there. You can screen them. It's not a revolving door, right? I've heard so many horror stories about people that have guests come in and there's an issue with the insurance that Airbnb set up or that they purchased, and Airbnb won't pay out, and then it gets into litigation, and then it's all this nonsense, right? So I don't like the revolving door of people that come in and out. And you know, a lot of these people and guests, and they're booking it for parties. They're booking it so that they can have their privacy. They get more privacy at Airbnb than they do at a hotel. Otherwise, why wouldn't they just book the hotel? It's typically bigger groups that book Airbnb, not so much like the 2 or 3 people that can travel and go stay at a hotel easily. So that's one concern that I have is, I'm not dealing with the revolving door and bad people coming in and ruining my stuff. The second thing is management fees and cleaning fees. After every guest leaves, you have to clean, and that's not cheap. And in order to get the booking set and everything, it takes a lot more management than a yearly rental. It takes a ton more. I've heard management fees up to 40%, some 20%, some 30%. I mean, there's various ranges, but that's an insane amount of management. And who wants to be sitting on Airbnb, messaging people back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and hiring cleaning people? Oh, the cleaning people didn't do this. Oh, this, I'm going to give you $100 off your stay because the cleaner forgot to clean this. Like, the management headache is just so much of a... It's just so annoying. Like, who would want to be sitting there doing that? The third reason, Airbnb is a lot more volatile, right? When the interest rates started coming up and the economy health started degrading, a lot of people stopped booking trips, right? Travel is not a necessity. It's a luxury. It's a want. So when the economy starts to take a turn for the worst, people stop booking. When people stop booking, you're losing monthly revenue. When you lose monthly revenue and you still have to make a payment to the bank, you're still responsible. Even if people don't book, you're still responsible for that payment. So you're paying it out of pocket. And yeah, that's not something that I want to get myself into, nor would I want anybody in the position. The fourth reason, as I touched on a little bit earlier, can Airbnbs compete with hotels? I don't think it's sustainable. I think hotels are going to take over again. And I think the fees are just too high for Airbnb for it to work. You never know from a cleaning aspect what you're going to get in an Airbnb, right? So as a guest, I would just rather stay in a hotel because I know I'm getting like a professional clean spot. The sheets are all done. I'm not going to stay in some boutique hotel where I don't know if they clean the sheets. I'm going to stay at like a pretty nice hotel, so I have some clarity and some certainty on that. For Airbnb owners, I think you're going to get squeezed out of the market. People are going to stop booking just for lack of convenience and lack of certainty. I think when a lot of people purchase real estate, they do it for the passiveness of it, right? The hands-off approach where, hey, look, I don't really have to do a ton and I'm still making a lot of money on this property. Whereas that's not the case with Airbnb. With Airbnb, you're a lot more hands-on, even if you have a management company. It's a lot more hands-off than a yearly rental. And you don't want to be pushing or backing yourself into a job. You want to have an awesome and passive investment. So I don't think the Airbnb thing is sustainable. I don't think it's smart for that purpose. Laws are changing for Airbnbs, and they're going to continue to do so. New York just banned Airbnb, the company itself, from processing payments from Airbnbs that are not registered with the state, right? So the state's getting their hands into this whole mix, and it's going to they're going to become even more overbearing. They're going to put in a lot of new laws. Other states are going to follow. So it's becoming significantly harder to own and operate Airbnbs. I mean, I know a lot of people that never register their Airbnb. They're not supposed to use it as an Airbnb, but they still use it as an Airbnb, and they still made some money, not as much as they would have if they just rented it out on a yearly basis, but that's the route they wanted to go. So they would just kind of sneak it around the back door it's going to become a lot harder to do that in the future. So I think a lot of people are going to start. I mean, we've seen people get fines already. I know that there's a couple of people that have been fined in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Who wants to take that risk? This right here is 6 reasons why I would never purchase Airbnb properties, and instead I would focus on year-long rentals or more, because it's just a better investment. It's safer, it's more secure. I think that there's a lot more stability in it. And you certainly don't want to be buying a job. That's the big thing. You don't want to be buying a job.